Good afternoon or good evening as it is now. Um, I ran a webinar earlier on today in relation to what I believe the new model of accounting is, the next generation. We call it Accountants Growth Formula 2.0. Now, on our webinar, we had lots of questions, and a number of people have been in touch with us this afternoon. So I said I'd just come back on and answer some of the questions, because we literally can't just get back to everybody. And there is a deadline on this because we're kicking off the program tomorrow. So this is one of these things that you need to make a fast decision on. It's really interesting working with accountants for the last 17 years. Accountants are absolutely brilliant at making decisions, and absolutely brilliant at giving advice, and absolutely brilliant at solving problems. But sometimes it's like the cobbler's children. And accountants as expert business advisors sometimes struggle to make decisions in relation to their own business. Sometimes what they tell their clients, what they tell their customers, is not what they do themselves. This is part of the challenge. This is part of the problem, that we spend all this time working in our business, solving everybody else's problems, but actually the best way to be a better accountant, the best way to help your customers, the best way, particularly to help your customers after COVID-19, is to lead by example. Now, obviously, there's a benefit in you having a more profitable business. There's a benefit in you having a less stressful business. There's a benefit in you pricing and delivering better value. Because let's be honest, price and value go hand in hand. You see, I believe an awful lot of accountants provide value, but it's not necessarily communicated. So the best thing that you can do for your customers, the best thing that you can do for your team, the best thing you can do for yourself is have a more profitable, more successful, more customer-focused business. And that's what this is ultimately about. I just want to tackle the very first question that we got in. And we got this question from multiple sources. And it came from when I asked the question this morning, what is holding you back? What's the biggest limitation facing accountants and their businesses? And the response we got back was about confidence. And I described confidence and limiting beliefs. And you see, the training model and the history of the profession, it set us up for failure, because accountants are continually taught to solve problems for others, and it's just assumed we will run a successful business. Now, the reality is, a lot of you here that are going to be watching this are already running really successful businesses. But the question you have to ask yourself is, does it feel successful to you? And do you think, could you do better? And the biggest enemy of accountancy businesses is good enough. You know, we're making good money. We're doing okay. Let's be honest, all accounting firms are impacted by COVID-19. But imagine if you were dealing with other sectors, the travel industry, hospitality, retail, tourism, sectors that have experienced devastation. So accountants are going to face challenges. Accountants are going to face problems, but the accountancy profession and your accountancy business is in a much better situation. When are accountants taught as part of their professional training career about things like price discrimination? And it's really interesting to track and the origins of accounting firms. And you can literally see, there was a really progressive, forward-thinking accountant. And then when people worked through that firm and did their training there, and if they set up their own businesses, they run in the model and image. So this confidence piece, it comes from external, but it also comes from inside you. It comes from inside you. I spend a lot of time focusing on wins. And, one of my favorite wins over the last 12 to 18 months is a guy came on to me and said, I've done it. I fired a client. And it was, one of those Alan Sugars, you're fired. So what? An accountant fired a client. Some of you do things like that every day. But you see, no matter where you are in the journey, there's always another level. There's always another layer. There's always an extension. And what happened when that accountant fired their client? Well, first of all, they fired that client. But the confidence they gained out of that, and we helped them maintain momentum, we got them then to go and identify the next 3 customers that needed to be fired. And then we identified the next 3 customers, there need to be difficult pricing conversations. The whole pricing conversation where, look, this isn't working out for us, your business needs have changed, we need to look at your price. And then they change service offerings. And then they begin to weed out some of the problem customers. And then they began to weed out some of the problem team members. And then they began to tackle some of their suppliers. And then they began to tackle their whole tech stack and how the firm ran. And the whole point is, it started with a single step. It started with just one win. And so this is what it's about. It's about gaining momentum. You see, it doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It's about a choice and a decision in the moment as to what your future trajectory is going to be. We decide now if we want something different. And hold on here for a second, okay? So I'm not at all being negative, because if you actually look back at where you came from, and if you actually look back at the successes you've had since you started your career, since you started your firm, if you look back at the successes you've had since COVID-19 has started, if you look back at the successes and the wins that you've had in the last 24 or 48 hours, confidence comes from setting out a trajectory, making a step forward, and taking action that results in progress. And that's all you're really doing at the moment if you're on the fence about joining the Accountant's Revolution. It's about taking a step forward. Yes, there is trust and there is faith, but when you take that step forward and when you commit, one step starts the longest journey. And when you've made that first step, you can go back and say, okay, well, there's a win. And then we take another step, there's another win. And then we begin to stack the wins. Now, the other question that I've had this afternoon, which is very, very, it's a reasonable question. And it's about the investment and the cash, okay? So some people are kind of saying to me, well, I've furloughed staff, I've put people on a subsidy scheme, the future is uncertain. And we don't know where we're going to be. We don't know what the next month and what the next month and what the next month looks like. I'll be honest with you, we've priced this in such a way that the investment shouldn't be an issue. So we've priced it at a price point that it shouldn't, it's about the opportunity. So yeah, it's about, well, okay, if I invest in this and I invest my time and money in this, and we'll come back to time in a second, well, what am I going to get back? So we believe that this is a no-brainer. I said it on my call this morning. So I have this philosophy that when anybody invests in any of our Profit Pro programs, that my aim is to get their money back and get a return on their investment within 30 days. So we get a return on investment within 30 days and that we get progress. We actually put cash on the table. And we have exercises and methodologies that we do to put cash on the table. So nobody has spare cash right now. The future is uncertain for everyone. Like this is why I do a price guarantee. I on the one hand, I'm reluctant to do price guarantees, but I do a price guarantee and I do a money back guarantee to give people certainty. Do you know, if you fully commit to this and you go for the all-in once-off payment, that to me is a real positive, because I find that people that go all in at the outset, that commitment and that investment, it's more like this is not something that's going to sit on the shelf. That involves engagement. But here's the thing, and I don't know, we've had a debate internally about this. Should we be telling people just pay the first month, sign up on the monthly basis, 247? If you're an existing OmniPro member, there's a discount on that. And UK members, it's 197 sterling. And sign up. And if you haven't got value, exponential value on your first month's investment by the end of May, just stop the DD. The people who pay all in, you've got 60 days. You pay us, we put the money in a stand-aside account, and if after 60 days people come back to us and say, this isn't for me, we refund your money, no questions asked. I think the question around the investment, I think it's real. I do think it's real. But the question around investment is more about the confidence. And here's the thing, this is not for everybody. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not for everybody. But I have a belief. You can either love me or you can hate me, but there's no money in the middle. So you truly need to decide. I asked this morning in our live stream, I asked, you know, do I look like somebody you can trust? And obviously people that have known me for a long time, the answers all came in the webinar. Yeah, we trust you, you've steered us right. And people were sharing stories of things that have happened over the last 10, 15 years. Profit Pro members were talking about their experience and the results that they got. But the investment of money is not really the issue here. I believe that that's something deeper. And I just want to talk about the results speak for themselves. So Jonathan, can you put up the link to the Irish sales page and to the UK sales page? If you go in onto the sales page, stay here with me. But if you want to open up another browser and another screen and go in onto the sales, do go in onto the sales page, because what we've put in there is a whole collection of wins and testimonials. You can actually click in the video, hear what our members say. So don't take my word for it. Hear what they have to say. But in terms of the cost, here's just some of my favorite wins. And from a cost perspective, here's one. I used the templates Des gave me and increased my payroll income by 166% in one go. Last year, here's another member. Last year was our best turnover year in the firm. And 4 months in, fees are up by 20% already in this year. We're going to have our best year's profit. Here's another one. I increased the fees on a number of my clients by 50% using Des's approach to fees. One client, I raised their fee from 6,000 to 12,000. That's not me telling you that the investment is worthwhile. That's people who've come through the program telling you. And they haven't even gone through our new program, which we have developed over the last 2 months. Like, you know, we've had a question here from somebody, my firm is only starting. So if you're a startup firm and you're only starting out in your journey, imagine if you could learn from the mistakes of the thousands that went before you. And we work with thousands of firms, not just hundreds, thousands. I think I looked at our client list last year, and obviously we're an Irish-based business that's now moving into the UK, and we've started working in the UK with UK accountants. But I think for the 31st of December 2019, there's only 3,500 firms in Ireland, but when we looked at our Irish customer list, we had 2,900 customers. So from big firms to small firms, that's what we're doing. We're learning from the mistakes that we have seen over years. This is about you not having to go through a trial and error process. Imagine if somebody could give you a clear pathway to a better future. If somebody could give you a clear pathway, a step-by-step map to follow. Now, you could go off in the woods and wander around in circles and have a wild adventure, maybe end up with some cuts and bruises, or you can come on the pathway that's been hewn out by the blood, sweat, and tears and the mistakes of others. I got a question in this afternoon about my firm has multiple partners. Okay, it depends on the partnership. You know, I have a win here. Whether you are a 3-partner firm like me or a sole practitioner. So this is a firm who's a 3-partner firm. So whether you're a 3-partner firm or a sole practitioner, the best part of being in this group is knowing that everyone faces the same challenges and you're not your own. And what I often find in firms is multi-partner firms is that people have different strengths and qualities. That's how partnerships work. Or in some cases, that's why partnerships don't work. But this is a way of getting all the partners on the one page, speaking a common language. And some of our most successful firms are multi-partner firms where by speaking the one language, the people who are more entrepreneurial, who want to lead, change, and innovate, this actually helps multi-partner firms bring people along. And you need to decide, sometimes it can be better to run a benevolent dictatorship. And what I mean by a benevolent dictatorship, maybe you've got 3, 4, 5 partners, and maybe you want to make changes in your firm. So either you can bring them on board, or maybe you come on and you take what we teach and then you bring it back and you shift the mindset, you shift the beliefs, you shift the process, you shift the vision and the plan in the way that works best for you. Now, we do have, so I'm just going to share my screen here. So we do have on our sales page, so Jonathan has put up the links into the chat box. I can't actually see the chat box here, Jonathan, but I'm sure you've done it. So Jonathan has put the links up in the chat box. So here's our sales page, and basically our sales page here, it brings you through. It shares with you some of our wins. So this is not our stuff. This is feedback, testimonials that we have gotten from our members over the last couple of years. We have some videos here. So this is Richard and Natalie. Richard and Natalie, they really enjoyed going on camera, as most extrovert accountants would enjoy. So you can see that from the slightly pained look on their faces. But Richard and Natalie tell their own story there. If you haven't checked them out, I think you should check them out. You know, here's Darren. Darren and his wife Kirby are members of the program. We've got testimonials. Here's Tom. Tom has a niche in the not-for-profit sector. But if you are a multi-partner firm, when you come in to do your payment, so this is the Irish landing page. Obviously, we have a UK equivalent as well. But when you come in to pay here, there is a discounted offering. If you want to bring all your partners through, you can do that. So it's whether you're a multi-partner firm, whether you're a sole practitioner, there's room here, and there's different ways you can go about it. Now, obviously, I'm on questions, and if anybody has questions, if you go onto our sales page, we do have a chat function on our sales page. So because we're closing out this evening and because I'm getting ready, I'm going to be around this evening and Michal will be around. So if you have any specific questions about multi-partner firms, either put it in the chat box now or the comment box below, and we'll come back to you wherever you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. So we'll come back and answer you, or you can go onto our sales page here and you can make commentary. There's a little chat box down at the bottom that will allow you to interact with us directly. How can I get my team involved? Well, one of the things, and this was feedback from members, do you know, when I talk about co-creation, this is my life's work. I read books, I study other businesses, I study other business models. I have a deep passion for the accounting profession and helping accountants. That's my why. I get up in the morning to help accountants build better businesses for themselves and their customers too. That's what I do. And but we always take feedback. We're always listening to our members because their success is what's most important to us. So for this run of the program, and what we're going to do is everybody who signs up, we're actually going to give you a second seat for a senior team member or a partner. And now they'll be able to access all the training. They'll have their own portal, and they may not necessarily be able to access the full community, but they'll be able to access everything that you need. Because see, the real issue here is if I'm a sole practitioner or a multi-partner firm and I want to go implement this change, I need somebody with me. I need a champion. So this option here, you can nominate a team member who can participate through that will help you implement. Okay, the next question that I have is, where will I find the time? This is about commitment. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to do, and I know it's a bank holiday in the UK on Friday, but one of the things I'm going to do on Friday morning is, I've been asked the question several times over the last 6 to 8 weeks. People are saying, Des, how do you find the time to do everything? You seem to be here. Next thing you're on a technical webinar. Now we're hearing you in Profit Pro. Now we're hearing you here. We're seeing it. You're doing, so how do I cover all the ground? I'm not going to pretend I'm the best and most efficient, effective person in the world. But what I am going to do is I'm going to share with you as a bonus to this, our top 10 hacks, my top 10 hacks for finding time in a COVID world. Now, here's my belief: finding the time. If I can help you find between 5 and 10 hours a week to invest in this during the month of May, you carry that process over into June and you find this time to work, and we begin to gain momentum where you're coming first, your business is coming first, your family is coming first. With that momentum, we will begin to make change. So we're going to do a free bonus session on Friday morning, 10 tips to find 2 hours a day to invest in your business. And we also have another bonus that when you land, anybody who signs up, when you land into the portal, so basically we're going to give you access to a portal where all the training will be saved, all the recordings will be saved, all the material we produce for the entire year. And we're going to pull our best material from our past programs. We've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now. Our best material from our past programs, put it in. But one of the things that Jonathan is going to do is, he just said it to me before the call, I did a 4-part series just the back end of last year in terms of finding more time. We're going to do a bespoke COVID time training, but we're also going to give you access to our best year ever program as soon as you land in. Actually, do you know what we're going to do? What we're going to do is we're going to open up our training on Friday, not only to you, not only to anybody who signs up. We're going to find some way to make that available to your entire team, your entire office. But just in terms of time, okay, I'm going to share some of the comments we've got back from our members. Like, there's one comment here: I hit my 3-year goals in 12 months, and now I need to go back and redo my whole strategy. That was actually somebody whose biggest resistance and whose biggest concern for signing up the program, it wasn't the money. It wasn't the money at all. It was the time. But they made that level of progress. They had a 3-year plan. They hit it in 12 months. This is about, again, this links into the confidence and the win piece. Here's somebody else. And so this is a multi-partner, busy firm. I didn't think I would have time to do this. But the big thing for me 6 months in is this has forced me to create time for my business that I didn't think I had. You know, this is where we get you to put stuff in the diary. So as soon as you sign up, we'll give you the schedule, we'll give you the dates and times, you put the dates in the diary. Now, one of the things right now is, it's not that you're not working the hours, but we have more flexibility around our hours. We're not doing face-to-face meetings. You're not scheduled for events for the next 6-8 weeks. You have control. And we get you to put the time in, commitment to yourself, make a commitment to your firm. Like, now is the time. there's an opportunity in coronavirus because business is not running as normal right now. And so this is also about from a time perspective. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day, and this is about the short game and the long game. We're looking at the short game, May, June, July, as business begins to open up and the lockdown begins to change as we shift into the new normal. So I kind of see this as, and we're going to do this 100-day plan. We cover the sprint material, give you all the knowledge. We prioritize what you need to do, what you need to go after within the system. You then pick out your priorities, you go after them, but then we do a 100-day plan. So there's this short-term plan so you can come out of coronavirus in a thriving state rather than a surviving state. But then it's a 12-month program. It's a 12-month program. It's a 12-month program, and we will continue to lead you through new material, new innovations, new developments. This is a question I was asked this morning. Well, where is this movement going? I don't know where it's going, but I know that I invest a significant amount of my time, energy, and effort in this program. So I will continually innovate, develop, co-create with you in terms of the issues you're facing for the benefit of the whole community. So this isn't just your issues, this is a whole community. And I invest the time to create what's needed right now. I spend time studying what's happening, identifying the icebergs looming on the horizon, and we create ways to get around them and navigate through. So there's the short game, let's do this now, May, June, July. Then there's the long game, which is the next 12 months of implementation, a systematic process. And we look at your scorecard, we look at your gaps and help you identify what's the next most important thing. We look at where you are in your success path and bring you through. We have a very open-ended question here, and I was unsure how to answer it. Work for me. I'm just going to give you some of the wins that we've heard in terms of, because you see, it's not all about the money. For a lot of accountants, they earn a damn good living and have a good quality of life. But like here's one win. I have 2 young kids, and since starting Profit Pro, I have won back my weekends for me and my family. I remember the day that this was brought up in one of our masterminds, and we were all in the room, and it was just such an emotional moment to see this young accountant, married with kids, struggling in their business, sharing with us, I've won back the weekends. Here's another one. I don't know how this happens. Oh, sorry, I do know how it happens. Because you see, if business isn't working well, if we're not content in our business, if we're not happy in our business, if we're not succeeding in our business, it knocks on to every part of our life. Will it work for you? Here's somebody who said to me, this has improved my marriage. Another one, I was under huge pressure last year and tax deadline nearly broke me. The hours I was working and the pressure. And now by the end of April, I've already 40% of my income tax return submitted. I have momentum now. Here's the husband and wife team. We're taking a 5-day holiday together in June. This hasn't happened in years. This was last year. Obviously, they're not taking a 5-day holiday in June 2020. Another one, I'm not 12 months into Profit Pro, and I'm just looking at my business in a totally different way than I ever could before. The session I did with you on Best Year Ever was the best thing I ever did. It gave me so much clarity on what is truly important and what I need to do. So that's one of the bonuses that Jonathan is going to make available to you instantly if you are hungry to make progress straight away. And here's another one. I'm looking at my business in a totally different way than I was just 8 months ago. I'm doing things I never would have thought of, and considering possibilities I couldn't see or have imagined. You see, this program, it's not all about me. It's not all actually about you. It's about us as a community considering possibilities, changing thinking, shifting mindset. Look, this was just a really short statement that was made by somebody, but again, it was quite emotional. And this goes back to the confidence and belief thing. A statement here from somebody: I'm seeing the value in me again. Do you know, if things begin to go off track in an accountancy firm, it can unravel very quickly. And it does. It can batter our confidence. It can be hard. It can be isolating. You can feel isolated. Even in a partnership, you can feel isolated. And I'm going to swap direction here. I'm going to swap direction here. And I just want to show you a few of the specific testimonials here. So Jonathan, you can tell me there. I should be on the page. Here's some existing members. So this is Johnny. Having been through the program, I'm now thinking differently about how I can position myself with certain clients to do more. It's given me the confidence to go down that avenue. This one here from Brian, I absolutely love this one. I have more time for my children. I have more time for my wife. Look at this next bit though. I'm more present. When I'm there, I'm really there. Have you ever felt that sometimes even when you come out of the office, and now it's even worse when we're working at home, the concept of being present. And when I'm in the business, I'm fully in the business. I've learned skills I didn't have before. I've learned to switch off, how to disconnect. My business life and my personal life are no longer muddled. So any of you who are asking, will this work for me? Well, there's an answer to that question. So all the wins are here. Now, where do I have, here's two more testimonials. So this one is, Profit Pro puts a focus, this is from Paul, on what we have to do and where we have to go rather than constantly chasing our tails. It's given us guidance on what to do with our business and what we need to start working on rather than just working on the clients. And Paul's a great example of one of our members where it's now no longer just about me, because Paul comes to the table with as many ideas as I do. And I put the ideas out, I put the structure, but Paul takes and makes his own version of things that fits into his practice. Everybody knows one size does not fit all. So this is the co-creation piece. We feed off each other. We learn off each other. And Natalie, this is such a common statement from accountants. I personally felt we were just hamsters on a wheel constantly, and we were still on survival mode from the crash, and we just needed somebody to say, well, now you can get off that wheel. Go do something about it. This is an experience I want to recreate from what I would call COVID trauma, and the shock that has arisen out of COVID that changes the uncertainty. Okay, so what's our next question? So folks, if you have any questions, put them into the comments or the chat box, and Jonathan will share them with me here, and so I can answer your questions if you have any. Here's a good one. So Davis, I love your passion. I love your enthusiasm. What you're doing here, but I tried something like this before. When a child is born and when a child starts crawling, they have to learn how to crawl, and then they learn how to walk. And I've got 3 young kids, so I watched this process. And you know, first of all, they stand up and they fall over, and then they stand up and they fall over again, and then they stand up and maybe they'll take their first step and fall over, and then they'll take their second step and fall over. Our natural human condition is to keep trying. Our natural condition is to learn from our mistakes. But if you've been a long time in this profession, and if your business hasn't been working for you for a long time, well, maybe like it's like, well, I just make do. It's whatever's not exactly the way I want it. And this doesn't matter whether you're a big firm, a small firm, highly profitable, not so profitable. It doesn't matter where you are. There's always an option to improve and to grow as a person and to grow as a business. There's a huge part of this program is about growing as a person. But you see, if a child said, the first time they stood up and fell over, oh, I tried that, it didn't work, we'd still all be crawling around on the ground. That's not how we do it. That's not what happens in reality. Here's a really difficult question. People that are on the fence. Okay, look, we were rolling this program out with our members. I've explained this already, and we were rolling out in May, and we were going to launch this program in September. That was the original plan. And last week I said to Mihal, I said, look, Mihal, this is going to be of such benefit to our members, but there's a lot of people out there and their circumstances have changed and their lives have changed. Let's just open up and see if there's anybody else who wants to come in and join us. And you see, you're now at the point of decision and decision making. I can't make a decision for you, but I do want you to remember one thing. Not doing anything is a decision. Do you know, some of you have said to me, oh, Des, I'm really interested in this. Can I go home and think about it at the weekend? Look, we're kicking off here. We're kicking off here on tomorrow afternoon, and we're kicking this off. And it's a decision that you need to make. And what I would really encourage you to do is decide that this is not for you, or decide that this is for you. Now, obviously, I hope that you decide this is for you, because I believe that I can transform, revolutionize your business and how it operates. But there's also this middle place of not making any decision at all and just letting the decision pass you by. Pull out a pen and a piece of paper and write down the reasons why you're not going to go forward with this and take the step, and the reasons why you should go forward with this and take the step. Because like, all we're asking here is for you to take the first step. All we're asking for you is to come on board in May. So yeah, I would encourage, and we've already had a number of people who've signed up, that they've gone on the all-in commitment. They've paid in full. But the first step is to sign up for this month. The first step is to go onto the sales page. So Jonathan, maybe if you can put in the comments again, if you can put in the links, just to make sure if anybody came in late, to the Irish sales page and the UK sales page. Go in and have a look at the testimonials, look at what people are saying, and make an informed decision. Yeah, it'd be great if you had weeks to make a decision, but this is something you can make a quick decision on. Either it's for you or it's not. I've talked about the money piece. Trust me when I say, if you come on this journey and if you commit and if you follow the process, the money is not going to be. Look at some of the things I've said already in this video. People get instant results, instant return. And my job is to give you not 100% return on your investment within 30 days. My job is to give you a lifetime of investment. What if, okay, so what if you come on this program for the next 12 months and it only adds 5,000 to your bottom line, 5,000 to your bottom line profit? But that's 5,000 for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Does that sound like a good return on investment? The changes that you make now, it's not just about the here and now, it's the long-term impact. It's the long-term effect. So please make a decision. Either unequivocally, this is not for me, or this is for me, but don't be left stuck in the middle in this no man's land of indecision. Because the people who don't make conscious decisions, that gives rise to regrets. What if you were to look back in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time, and you were to say, I wish for the sake of 200 a month, I'd gone on that program with Des, because I might have got there quicker, easier, I might have gone further. So I don't think I have any more questions. We've answered most of the big questions. And you have, wherever you're watching this, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and the guys have put the links in the comments. I'm going to be on call this evening. And if you go onto our sales pages, go in, have a look, see what's there. And there is a chat box down at the bottom of the sales page. So hold on here now. I'll just show you where the chat box is, so you can identify it, because I notice it doesn't automatically pop out. But here's your chat box on the bottom of the screen. So this little box, just type in here, and Michal and myself will be around this evening. Look, this is make your decision. We're open tonight until 12. We're kicking off the program tomorrow. We need to get everybody in, get them on board, and get them in place. And you know, it's we need to start. We need to start. So we'll be kicking off. The stuff will be going into the portal. We'll be kicking off straight away. And we've got to honor our existing members, our existing Profit Pro members. This is in their diaries. They're ready to go. We're all going to go through this together for the next month. There's not much else for me to say. There's not much else for me to say. I do hope to see you in the program. I do hope that you join me. And if you don't, well, that's okay too. That is your decision. I hope you come with us, because I know I can bring your practice further, quicker, easier. Further, quicker, easier. And somebody has said to me in the comments here, Des, you're not as energetic and as passionate as you were this morning. And I'll be honest with you, that webinar I did this morning from 12 until 1:15, it's like I've been hit by a bus. I did give it my heart and soul. But this isn't about, I was motivated this morning. I was talking about the model. I was talking about the opportunity. This isn't a high pressured sale. This is just you making a choice. And whatever choice you make, I hope you make the right one for you, your business, your team, your customers, and your family. Join me in the accountant's revolution.